Steve. It is Wednesday morning, about 6:13. I'm on my way to my job. What exactly is a job? A job is what's keeping you from making serious money in your life. But I'll keep that conversation for another time. What I wanted to talk about this morning is who you are, who you want to be, and how you can possibly get there. The reason I decided to pop on and do this morning, just had an incredible class at Pack Fitness. I've got a great group of people there, extremely dedicated, hardworking guys and girls, and literally just come in every day knowing I'm looking for and finding creative ways to just run them through the ringer, abuse them, make them push themselves harder than they want to push, make them work harder than they want to work, all in the name of getting healthier, working towards their goals. So at the end of class, a couple of us were just having a little chit-chat session, and one of the girls asked me if I knew a certain person, and that name brought back some traumatic memories from my past. So I could have fallen into a certain feeling. I could have allowed myself to feel the way I felt in the past and everything, but it made me smile. And I don't know what this person's situation in life is right now. I don't know how this person feels, what this person thinks, or anything like that. But I know how I think every day, and I know that part of my thought process every day is a little bit of analyzing where I've been in the past and what that past has allowed me and who that past has allowed me to become now. So the name that was brought up a lot of traumatic memories. I know, there's a lot of anti-bullying campaigns and anti-bullying rules and regulations in schools and everything right now. And bullying still exists. It might be different than it is today than it was when I was younger. Literally, when I was younger, bullying meant you were getting black eyes, and you were getting bloodied up, and you were getting scuffed up, and you were being mentally tortured, not online, not via text or a social media post that made you feel bad, but people in your face every day telling you what they thought, how poorly they thought of you, and showing you how poorly they thought of you through physical violence. So the name that was brought up was one of these people. He was, in my opinion, one of the biggest people that picked on me back in the day. But today he was also one of the people that helped make me as strong as I am. So I'm going to do a little memory lapse here to about 8-9 years ago or so. I went to see a success coach, personal trainer in a small group environment out in California. I had seen this individual talk in King of Prussia in a large venue. He kind of hit home. A lot of what he was saying, meant a lot to me, and he asked a lot of questions towards the beginning of it to try and drive the focus of the conversation for the day. And forget exactly what the question was, but he asked a question, and he took about 8 or 9 people for the answer, and literally he shot them down. I mean, said, no, that's not a good question. That's not a good question. Why even think that way? That's not a good question. Well, every time he shot somebody down, less and less hands went up, less people wanted to get called on, less people wanted to get embarrassed. But the more he shot people down, the more I thought about the question I had. So right when he was about to give up because nobody was willing to raise their hand, I went ahead and threw my hand up, and he was like, all right, what do you got for me? And I asked him how I could change the vibration, my internal vibration, to draw more of what I wanted in my life to me, to attract more of what I wanted in my life to me. And he loved that question, and he went on for 10 or 15 minutes on that, and then he went into whatever he might have had planned for the day. Told me to stick around at the first break. We had a nice personal conversation. Wound up going to one of his personal seminars, like I said, out in California. It was a surprise expenditure on the wife that she wasn't too crazy about, and sometimes you do something like that, it's hard to quantify what the results are, and it'll come back in a minute as to why I'm telling you guys this story after talking about a bully. So we went to this. The first day was exactly the way he had planned it out to be. The first night, I should say, it was a Friday night meet and greet. Had a great time, and then Saturday the conference started. He went through a lot of what he would normally be doing, I would say, and then much like he did in the conference, he asked people certain questions. I forget the exact situation or question that led into it. But for some reason or another, I think it was what was holding you back in life. And I think at that particular time, I felt, or I thought, that a lot of what was holding me back in life was situations that I had successfully gotten through, situations that I had dealt with when I was much younger. So I talked about the bullying that I experienced as a kid, and I got really emotional about it, and he decided to do a little exercise to help me get past that and to move on with it, to let that go. It was pretty interesting. He put me up in the center of the room, and he had all the men in the room get up and come up and kind of form a semicircle around me. And he told these guys to not hold back. He said, I want you guys to be as brutal as you can, whether it be something Steve has said so far this morning, or it's his appearance, or whatever it is. He said, I want you guys to be those playground bullies, and I want you guys to start picking on him, and I want you guys to start handling him, and I want you to bring back all those feelings that he had when he was younger and he was in school. And they did, and it was hard. And I just sat there, and much like I did when I was a kid, I didn't defend myself. I just sat there with a closed upper lip, right in my teeth, just sitting there, and I felt the anger brewing up and brewing up. And the speaker in the background was just this little voice like, what are you going to do about it, Steve? What are you going to do about it? Almost like that little voice in your head that most people have, like, how am I going to succeed? What am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? So I don't know how long this went on. It seemed like minutes. It was probably less than a minute or around a minute, and these guys bullied me. Well, it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore, and I literally just reached my arms out and grabbed as many of them as I could and bared into them. And they started bearing back. And the harder they bared back, the harder I pushed them. Well, it got to a point when I finally was willing to release everything I had held for all those years. I pushed back, and I drove a group of, I don't know, I think it was maybe 9, 10, might have been 11 guys, all my size or bigger. I physically drove that whole entire group backwards against the room with increasing intensity until I almost slammed them in the wall. And the speaker and a couple of the girls had jumped up and were pulling me back because they knew that I was going to slam this group of people into the wall. And that was a really, really incredible experience that I remember to this day, and it's one of the experiences throughout life that have helped to kind of drive me and shape me into who I am. So I kind of forget when I first started exactly what I wanted to come around with full circle. So I started off with a bullying story, and wanted to let you guys know that for a majority of my life, much of what I was doing in life and many of my accomplishments, and more importantly, the lack of accomplishments, it's the best way to say it. I allowed myself to settle for an excuse, and I allowed myself to blame others for what I was afraid to do and for movement that I was afraid to make personally. So when I went to this weekend-long conference, I think I had a turning point, and at that point I realized that, nothing that had ever happened to me in the past could possibly hold me back. It's only the things that have happened in the past that add to the person I am right now. And since I've realized that, that many years ago, I made a lot of great strides in my life. And I recently came to another very, very similar realization where I thought I was at a point in my life that I was happy, that I was satisfied, that I had enough, pretty high paid employee, Had some side gigs going on, so not a ton of additional income, but not a single stream of income. I was helping people on a daily basis, influencing people, making changes in their lives, helping them out with health. So I really kind of thought that I had, maybe reached the final destination. Had less than 18 months left to go until I was able to retire from my union position after almost 30 years. And it was kind of at that exact same moment that I realized that I've been holding myself back, and my personal potential is unlimited. I am an energetic being in a human body living a human experience, but it's that energetic being on the inside that's going to allow me to grow and do whatever I want to do in life. And I'm going to be here for you guys to help you find that inner energetic being of yourselves. And it might not be me that you decide to listen to occasionally, or it might not be me you decide to listen to every day. But I guarantee you right now that if you decide that your life isn't exactly what you want, one way or another, and you don't have to be disappointed in yourself, you don't have to be down on yourself. It's just that if you find in yourself that there is a better you, a bigger you, a more important you, a more influential you, whatever you on the inside that you're not portraying to the outside world, a life that you could be living that you're not living because of X, Y, or Z, A, B, or C, whatever it happens to be, I strongly suggest that you do some YouTube searches, you do some online searches, and you find somebody that you connect with. And you start listening to that person every day. You start drawing from that person's messages. I've got a lot of, friends that I'll call up for advice. That's people that I like to listen to. I value their opinion, and in specific instances, I will call on them to have them give me their opinion on a situation. And there are things that I want to learn, and I found gurus in those particular aspects of either personal life or finance or business. I found gurus, and I listen to those gurus every day. And I've, want to grow personally, so I found people that are really, really good at putting that message out there. So it's not one person; it's a group of people. I've got a go-to group of people that I listen to on a daily basis for those messages. And I'm lucky enough to have found one individual that has given me messages every day that take everything I'm looking for in life and combine them. He talks about self-growth. He talks about your economic health. He talks about how to start a business. He talks about multiple streams of income. He talks about going outside of your comfort zone. He talks about all the things that I think I need to hear right now. So I'm drawn to him, and I spend a lot of time listening to him. And out of his messages and out of the messages I get from all the other mentors I have, I've realized that I'm not living my life to my potential, and I'm putting myself out here every day right now, guys, as a way to help myself find who I am and what I'm capable of. If I spend a couple minutes every day talking to you guys, I get feedback. I haven't gotten any feedback on my channel yet, but I've had a lot of people personally have come up to me that I know and said, "Hey Steve, I watched your video on this, it was great, this is my take on it," and they're helping me grow. So I'm reaching out to you guys to give you help, and in return, you guys by default are going to be helping me grow. See, that's how, as citizens of this great planet Earth, that's how we can all grow and become better people, is to help one another. So I'm here to help you. I'm going to draw off of your guys' knowledge and experience. You guys are going to help me, whether you realize it or not. And I hope that you stick around, subscribe to the channel, watch me grow with me. Name of the channel right now is Strive with Steve. It's probably likely to change. I thought that I was going to have to put a brand on it and stick with it forever. But one of the things I learned yesterday from one of my mentors was that, you constantly change, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly growing your personal brand, whether it's the brand that you market or just your personal brand. So it's likely to change. Right now it's Strive with Steve. Thanks a lot for taking a little bit of your time out today and allowing me to do some personal venting on my ride to work, my job, my just over broke, the thing that's holding me back in life right now from becoming the person I want to become and from making the income I know I'm going to make. But I got 16 months left to retire. I got big things I'm planning on doing, and hopefully you guys are along with the drive. This is Strive with Steve. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care, and I will talk at you later. Bye.